back to the channel. Today we're going to work on the GSX some more. I got some things I got to get done. The car did great last weekend at H2O. Drove there, drove back, no issues. I did notice in dead stop and go traffic, like dead, like not moving, like taking 40 minutes to go 2 blocks, the car started to get a little hot. Like, well, not hot, it just started, the temp started to go up. I turned on the heater and everything went back down to normal, but obviously that little radiator needs a little more flow than just sitting there in traffic and not being able to move. I am going to go ahead and install the boosted Fab bumper brackets, and then I am also going to fix my O2 sensor intercooler pipe issue. As you guys can see, it's hitting it, it's starting to mess up my pipe. I also did throw a code while I was at H2O that it had what was it called, O2 sensor malfunction, and that's because it was rubbing against the wires driving. So I'm going to set up, I'm going to go ahead and pull the bumper off, and I'm probably going to mount those first, and then I'm going to fix the pipe. Alright, so as you can see here, I had already trimmed this once because it was making me run into my dump tube, but it looks weird. It's like this was never supposed to be like that on my car. It, or on this intercooler, it stuck out this far. So I'm gonna have to pull it back in probably another 1/4 inch or so, and yeah, I probably need at least that much, because the way that it hits now, it once everything gets warm and loosens and starts to expand, it touches the O2. So I'm probably going to bring it in maybe a 1/4 inch, if not a little more, and see what happens. So I can still have all this to grab onto, and I use 2 couplers anyways. So all right, I'm gonna get the Sawzall and set up.
Jed Official Beats.
So I'm gonna go ahead and install the bumper supports. As you can see here on the ground, they come with the bolts. They're made of really good material. They're strong enough to support the bumper, but they're also thin enough that if you need to kind of adjust the bracket to fill in or make a gap tighter, you're able to do so. So they essentially just slide in like this. Sorry about that. And then they just bolt using the existing holes that are already there from factory. So everything's pretty much set up on my side. I got everything ready. I think I'm just missing my socket, but I'll find that here in a second. And there it is. I'll go ahead and get these installed and I'll show you guys how it works. All right. I had to stop for a second because one of the contractors that's working on my mom's house stopped by, and me and him were talking about finishing my basement. So here they are, they're installed. Super easy. This side's a little bit trickier because, again, I had to kind of go around the lower intercooler pipe. But if you pull yours off real quick, you can have it on, you know, in a matter of a minute. But yeah, they're on tight. As you can see, they'll give you a nice tight space between the headlight and where the bumper's gonna sit. I pulled them all the way forward. I'm gonna see how that works when I put the bumper on, and then I may adjust back or forward depending on what is needed. So like I said, man, it just uses the bolts that are in here. I'm sure you can't see it. Yeah, it's hard to see. But it essentially uses the standard bolts that the factory core support has. The bolts that he supplies are great. Washer, locking nut, everything. So that's essentially it, guys. That's how you do it. One of the easier mods that you can do to this car. So now I'm gonna kind of put the bumper up and see how it looks. As you can see, guys, it sits a lot tighter. I think I'm gonna push down on them a little bit to kind of free up a little bit of gap, because as you can see, there's no gap, so it'll be rubbing against the headlight. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna push down on them just a little bit and then remount it. Alright guys, so that's it. It's on and it's supporting the front bumper now. You can still see a little bit of gap towards the back of the headlight, and that's because I do not have the bolts in that go here, go right above the marker lights, and that's because they've always been a pain for me to get out and then get back in lined up, so I kind of leave them out. I'm okay with how it actually looks now that it's supporting the bumper more up front and it's not hanging so much. Is good. And then also I trimmed that bottom piece that was tapping against the intercooler, so you actually can see that the gap has been kind of cleared right here, because it used to just be tapping like that. And then I put some stuff across the metal to kind of keep it from hitting if it ever does adjust. But the bumper's on tight, looks good. Cleaned up the gap, fixed my lower intercooler pipe issue. See, look at that, a good half-inch there now. So when the motor rocks and stuff from being on boost and off boost, everything should be good. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That'll do it for today's video. Thanks again for watching, guys. I really appreciate the support. I'm going to continue to try and make as many DSM videos, SRT8 videos as I can. And yeah, I really do appreciate you guys subscribing and everything like that. So thanks guys, and more videos to come. See you.